Hi, this is Tim from Plastex. We're going to repair an aftermarket kind of a hubcap for a custom wheel. And this is what it looks like when it's not broken. And this got broken out and it's all missing. And this one here is also broken out and all missing. We're going to repair both of these and make them whole again, just like this. We're going to use our molding material here. And what we do is we take it, it's heated to 120 degrees. It gets like silly putty. We're going to take and make a mold of the good side here. Just push it down, form it around the good part. You can push it down so you get it into those screw holes, so you get those recesses in there. And just like that, you can look at the back and see that it's all the way through. Form it around, make sure it's a good tight. And we'll let this harden. When it gets back to room temperature, it will be a firm, exact mold of this part right here. So we'll let this sit and harden. It'll probably take about 20 minutes at room temperature, and then we'll continue on. All right, it's been about 20-30 minutes, and the mold here is firm now, and an exact mold of the good part here. Now, we've cleaned all this with rubbing alcohol. Try to use like the 90% or so, but get everything clean so the Plastex will stick and no grease or oils on there. In this case, brake dust as well. So we snap this in place where the broken part is, just like that. And you get a pretty good fit. Always check your mold to see if it's a good tight fit. And what we'll do here is put a couple drops into the powder again like we do. Pick it up and move it over and just start building this in. Just push a little more liquid out, just enough you can see when it runs off the needle. And just continue to fill this area. Now we use black because it's a black part, and we should be able to polish it up to where you really won't hardly see where the repair is. All right, we're all done with filling this with the powder and liquid, and it's been a couple hours, and we're gonna peel this off, the mold that we made. And this all looks pretty good. It did a good job, and that part's done. Now in this particular part, it has a little part here where the bolt goes through, and it's like a standoff, and that isn't on here because you can't do both sides. So we made a mold of the inside over here. We're gonna put this part on here by doing a two-sided repair, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, so here's the mold we made on the inside part here, so we can put the boss back on here. And how I'm gonna do that is, I'm gonna take this mold here, I'm gonna fill it with product, and then I'm gonna put the product into the mold instead of on the part, and I'm gonna fill this up and I'm gonna push it on here, and it'll just ooze out around the edges where I don't want it, and we'll make that boss back on there, and that's how we'll have a two-sided detail mold. Okay, so we're gonna take and fill this mold here where we want that boss built up on there. We're just gonna fill it up. And if you get it a little too full, it'll just ooze out around the edge. And if you ever get it to where you don't want it sticking to a place you don't want it, or maybe put a little stain on the plastic, you can put wax on that part of the plastic that you don't want it on. So we're gonna put that on there. We're gonna let it set up for a brief period of time, maybe 20-30 seconds, because it's too runny right now and it'll run all over. Okay, we've waited between 30 seconds and a minute here. I just let this to where it's not completely liquid and it starts to gel up. You don't want to wait too long because then it'll be too late to adhere. And we're just going to push this in place like this right here. And you can see that it's oozing out right here on this edge. We can clean that off later, any spots, but just want to make sure it's fully pushed in place. And we'll just let that sit again, and then we'll tear that off in another 20-30 minutes. And just want to make sure it's dry, and you'll have that part rebuilt back on there on the back side. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, and remember we were remaking one of these onto our repair here. We'll peel the mold away, And there's the boss that we need to rebuild. What I'll do is re-drill this hole with a drill, and I'll take a file and I'll just clean this across a little bit because this might be a little bit higher. Just file this straight across, and then this whole piece will be just like that. It'll be completely rebuilt, and it won't break when they put a bolt through here where this tries to flex in. And that's it. It's all finished.